Good morning, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful night's rest. Welcome to Morning Heart Devotion. To start off, let's offer a greeting about our heavenly parents and true parents. 천진 천번님께 겸배 바로. And now to lead us through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 태상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천혜의국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 시민의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Stevens. And now to open us up in prayer, I'd like to ask Masai Joseph. Masai Joseph, if you could please unmute and open us up in prayer. I got her earphones.
Join me in prayer. Heavenly Parents, true parents, Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to gather together as a family, brothers and sisters all over the world, North America. Thank you so much for your grace, love, and blessings. Heavenly Parents loves us and then create this world for us to become your children. We are not robots or all things, your children. And Heavenly Parents, you expected Adam and Eve to become holy and then better being than you. However, because of our mistake, we are foreign being now. And then you are looking for all over the world. People are suffering. People going through a lot of difficulties, struggles, broken marriages, and then so many things we really even can't control. And then looking at us, how we are right now, you are always sorrowful, crying, and then wants to reach out and give us hands to help us come out from that spot. Heavenly Parents, I really appreciate your patience and also your love. Never give up. I don't know how long this is going to last. It has been for a long time. Our lives are like just 100 years. Still, you did this for over thousands. And I don't know how long it's going to be. So, every parents, I really would like to do something step by step, and also help others to go together to your bosom. Thank you so much for the Two Parents course, and also to Mother. We are so grateful that she can physically come to United States. Also, she sent us our continental director, Dr. Yong, so that you are talking through him, and Two Parents sent him for us. I really would like to prepare our heart to receive your words through Dr. Yong. And then I really would like to appreciate his sacrifice, his family's sacrifice. And also, I really would like to appreciate our brothers and sisters. Try to unite your heart and love, and try to do something for you. Thank you so much. Please guide this session and then talk to us through Dr. Yong. I report all these things with brothers and sisters and Masai and Raul Joseph, the member of the Central Families, Arju.
아주 마사에상 아리가또 고자이마스. 혼돈이 감사합니다.
Thank you for such a beautiful prayer, Masai-san. And now, brothers and sisters, we're going to start the day in joy and gratitude by sharing them with each other. So let's take the next few minutes to reflect on what we're grateful for. And if you're by yourself, take this moment just to reflect. We'll see you all in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing in your breakouts. I see some smiles, no anger faces. That's good. All right. So I had a wonderful time with the Inoses and Dr. Hendricks. I'd like to invite up Dr. Hendricks to share with us his gratitude point or points this morning.
Hello, our Dr. Hendricks.
Hello, our Dr. Yong and everybody. Okay, I have one wonderful gratitude point this morning. I'm grateful for Dr. Yong's awareness of the value of translation. I understand that there's 7 translators, 7 languages, morning devotion.
Yeah.
So it is embracing the 80%, 90% of the world's population. And in this age, we need excellent translation. That's a perfect plus. We have a perfect plus. True parents are a perfect plus.
Yeah.
But if it's just in Korean, it doesn't get very far. So we need translation to be perfect plus for the whole world, and then perfect minus will appear. And I think of all of our leaders that I've worked with, and Dr. Yong is the most aware, I think because of your experience in Asia, I'm sure, we can't move people's lives unless we can speak in their language.
Yeah, right.
So I'm grateful also to the team, Kiara, and I don't know, everyone else is serving to translate and make the true parents' words and heart of morning devotion available to everyone. And so thank you so much. And I want to support that and, expand that, because the growing religions they invest a lot in translation, and they can go to every village, everywhere in the world and bring people to God. So you're the cutting edge. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Hendry. I hope someday you can translate my Korean to English. Thank you. Thank you for the recognition. All our translators, I really appreciate all our translators. They are really working very, very hard day and night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks, for sharing. Next, I'd like to call on Sophie. Sophie, if you could please unmute and share with us your gratitude.
Did you mean Anna Yon?
Yeah, good morning, everybody, American family, and
Sophie.
Mr. Yong, hello.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the revolution of heart which is happening to me these days. So I really find what Mr. Yong is talking about, this is really true according to my own experience, what happened in my life. So it's not because Mr. Yong is talking, but because what I meet some kind of circumstances. So this is really true. When we run away from our problems, we are going to receive the same. So brothers and sisters who are struggling, who have difficult time, even though you're thinking that something changed, if I just give up, don't give up, please. Don't give up, because you will meet the same, even worse. Yeah. And if you're against, say no, you will meet even worse next time. So this is really true. Now I really realize that, and now before I was wanting happiness, because in principle I say I want to be happy, but now we can be happy only through identify my own sins and my ancestors' sins, because I don't know what they did. If I meet these things, this is really like I have no choice, I guess, because I became more serious about that, because I was not I was serious, but when you meet the same, it's like this is a proof. This is my own proof, not what Mr. Yong is talking about. And when I say to God again, no, God say no, please. So, and also, I'm grateful for also prayer. Prayer changes my life. Prayer changes my heart. Even I physically feel how prayer fills my heart. And what I want one day scientists discover the power of the prayer. I mean, physical power of the prayer. Because if I pray less in one day, I feel I can't really breathe. If I pray more, I feel like a big balloon, something in my heart. And I need to do it. Not unfortunate. This is my conversation with God. However, every day, and it's really work. It is a work, which I like kind of not. Sometimes it's a duty. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I don't. But this, I'm really grateful for that.
Okay.
Also, today I'm grateful for external thing. I had a bike ride for 3 hours today, so I was really grateful for having this opportunity. To take care of my physical body. And also I'm grateful for my job. I teach at kindergartens English, and kids are so nice. They're so little and they just they make me love kids more and more. So I'm really grateful for the job. I already teaching for 12 years kids, so I'm grateful, still grateful. And I'm grateful for our Haraboji, Mr. Yong. I'm sorry saying Haraboji, maybe you're my appa.
Okay. Sophie, I think someday you need to translate, from the English to Russian language, morning devotion.
Morning devotion.
You need to think about it. We are thinking about that. Okay.
This is a big responsibility.
Okay, we don't have much time. Thank you very much, Sophie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sophie. I think that was the closest we got to 10 points of gratitude in a very long time. All right, brothers and sisters, now's the time you've been waiting for. Let us prepare our hearts, prepare our minds to receive our heavenly inspiration and message today through our beloved Dr. Chun-Sik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, good morning. My dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace, 안녕하십니까? Today is October 14th. It is the day True Father was released from Hungnam prison. On February 28, 1948, he entered Hungnam prison and then paid incredible indemnity for 2 years and 8 months until October 14, 1950. And also today is the 39th anniversary 6,000 couple blessing day. Congratulations, my dear brothers and sisters. Today, I would like to speak to you under the title, The Path of Mutual Prosperity from True Mother's Memoir. I'd like to invite our Heavenly Honey. Please read.
There is a narrow path deep in a forest, barely wide enough for one person to walk along. The one who creates that path sweats profusely, with hands getting scratched while cutting away branches. Thanks to that person, those who come after can walk along the path in comfort. We need to be deeply grateful for the hard work of that first person and endeavor to make the path wider and more even. A path through people is harder to create than a path through a forest. Unlike trees that give way to the hatchet, people have their own will. And when something goes against their will, people close their hearts. I shed sweat and tears trying to open hearts and connect people as one family. I pioneered a path no woman has ever walked and embraced the world's people in the most precipitous places. I quietly practiced true love for human salvation and world peace in situations from which anyone else would have run away. My forgiveness and embrace have moved enemies to tears. Now we have ushered in the springtime of the providence. Spring is the busiest time for farmers. They must do their utmost to ensure an abundant harvest in the fall. In this providential spring, we need to construct the original world that God planned to realize from the beginning. We can receive the marriage blessing and share it with our family and tribe. Then we can work together as veritable messiahs to transform our nation. Such is heaven's decree.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. True Mother said, now we have ushered in the springtime of the providence. In this providential spring, we need to construct the original world that God planned to realize from the beginning. We can receive the marriage blessing and share it with our family and tribe. Then we can walk together as a veritable messiahs to transform our nation, such is heaven's decree. My brothers and sisters, now the last responsibility remaining for our blessed family is to contribute to the building of Cheonilguk by completing the Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission. By completing Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission, we must secure the majority to find and establish God's sovereignty, God's people, and the land. We have everything, my brothers and sisters. We have everything. We have God, we have true parents, we have a divine principle, the eternal truth, and we have been blessed with the most precious gift in human history. What are the remaining tasks from now on? It is to secure the majority of the people of Cheonilguk. Only the task of the securing the number remains. Therefore, Cheonilguk can be achieved only by securing the majority with the goal of total salvation. So from now on, I am going to do my best to nurture the CAP expansion movement and young people around YSB in earnest. So after I completing 50-state tour, I already great determination to focus on our youth group, our CAP, our YSP, our 통일무도, our GPA, our YAYAM. I think they are really our future. So without increasing from the young generation, how can we say our nation is very much a promising future? We cannot say it like that. So I think my dear brothers and sisters, really we need to more pay attention how to raise up our second generation, third generation, our youth people. So now this time I visiting to each state, I really, whenever I meet our second generation and third generation, I am so inspired. No, of course there are some problems, but I can see great potential. Many of them also, they determined to become public position. I am so grateful. I think now time has come. Our second generation, third generation gradually coming back one by one. I think morning devotion created that kind of spiritual atmosphere, environment. If first generation inspire and have more dedication, if first generation is alive, and then automatically influence our second generation. We need to have that kind of environment. We need to create that kind of environment from now on. I really appreciate the morning devotion. And through the morning devotion, God is really creating such a beautiful environment. And our dear brothers and sisters really also dedicating so much. I also appreciate all affiliated organizations without exception, everybody doing this morning 정성 condition. Thank you so much, my dear brothers and sisters. Okay, continue.
No matter how difficult our work, We need to complete the providence and reveal the truth. When we fulfill our responsibility, following God as sunflowers follow the sun, we will surely realize Heavenly Parents' dream and humanity's hope. The question is whether we will be able to achieve that while I am on earth. If we do, we will stand proud and tall in front of our descendants and all generations to come. There has never been such an opportunity. No matter how young or old you are living in the same era as the only begotten daughter. This is your golden age. Be grateful and do not miss this time. We cannot let the world be ignorant of the coming of true parents and the blessings and grace of God. We must guide all people to attend heaven.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. True Mother said, no matter how difficult our work, we need to complete the providence and reveal the truth. True Mother placed before God. During True Mother's lifetime, True Mother vowed to end the providence of restoration for God's sake and to find and establish 천일구 without fail. Therefore, as children, her decision, her determination should be mine. This is the attitude of the filial sons and daughters. True Mother said, when we fulfill our responsibility, following God as the sunflowers follow the sun, we will surely realize Heavenly Parents' dream and humanity's hope. True Mother always emphasized the sunflower faith. Sunflower look at the sun and focus on the sun as it moves. Therefore, if we practice a sunflower faith, God's dream and mankind's wish will surely come. What does it mean? As long as who is our son? Who is our son? Our son is our true mother. Our position is like a sunflower. As long as we unite with the true mother, Mother said, you can see many kind of the miracle happen everywhere. That's why key is how much can we unite with the true mother's vision, our true mother's wish, our true mother's heart, because entire God's providence focus on true mother. Even God, even true father, 흥진님, 효진님, all absolute good spirit, their focal point is on the earth, centering on true mother. Therefore, as long as we unite with the true mother, that is the way to accomplish God's will. That's why we need to think always sunflower faith. Korean people say, 해바라기 신앙, 해바라기 신앙, 해바라기 신앙, sunflower faith. Absolute alignment. Absolute alignment, centering on center. The sunflower's center is sun. That's why, according to the sun, they adjust. They're moving around. We call that the sunflower faith. 해바라기 신앙. True Mother said, the question is whether we will be able to achieve that while I'm on earth. If we do, we will stand proud and tall in front of our descendants and all generations to come. There had never been such an opportunity. No matter how young or old you are living in the same era as the only begotten daughter. This is your golden age. Be grateful and do not miss this time. My brothers and sisters, we are on the second 7-year 천일구 journey together with the true mother. This opportunity is a period of history that will never come again forever. Wow. Messiah, no need to come again. God's begotten daughter, no need to come again. This is the final their mission. Can you imagine about Jesus could not fulfill his portion of responsibility on behalf of Jesus. Our Father Moon and Mother Moon came to the earth as true parents. Messiah, no need to come anymore. Already they have done their great mission already. So now remaining job is how to substantialize God's 천일국 on the earth. My brothers and sisters, you know my age. I am 64. In Korean, is 65 years old this year. From now to the age of 70 is my eternal golden age. If you are 40 now, 7 years from now is your eternal golden age. If you are 1 year old now, 1 year old baby now, 7 years from now is an eternal golden age. If you are 100 years old, then 7 years from now is an eternal golden age. We no longer have time to quarrel, struggling. One day should be like 1,000 years. And 1,000 years should be like a day. You have to do all your best every day so that you don't regret it forever after the 7-year journey has passed. I am living with this kind of heart every day. That's why I am investing morning devotion every day. I don't want to waste even 1 second, even 1 minute, because this 7 years golden time period never come again. After 7 years pass, when I think back my past, my 7 years course, I don't want to regret even 1 second. Why? Can you imagine this, living with true mother? When can have this kind of time again? Wow, very, very precious time. I know my brothers and sisters are working very hard now. I go everywhere. They have really strong determination to go forward. I think morning devotion, creating that kind of environment through our true parents' work. Thank you again for your beautiful dedication and devotion and contribution for the sake of God's providence. True Mother said, we cannot let the world be ignorant of coming of the true parents and the blessing and grace of God. We must guide all people to attain heaven. And today's Father's word, what is a deep emotional life of faith? This is also very, very important content. Difficult to find the word Korean one, chehyul. This is cannot find in English terminology. chehyul. I don't know how to say. Experience, this is also not enough. chehyul means God's word become your flesh and centering on heart. Because the word is not word. God's word become my substantial body. God's word become my flesh. And this kind of experience, we can say chehyul. Deep emotional experience. Means when we're talking about the chehyul means you need to have a substantial experience of God's heart. That's why, and then really cannot forget. And then God will really become, how to say, flesh. Cannot forget about. We call that the chehyul. Not easy to find English language from the English terminology. Difficult to find. So very, very deep. So Father said, what is a deep emotional experience? The emotional life of faith. How can we do that? Let's study Father's word. Heavenly Honey, please read.
What is a deep emotional life of faith? What is the biggest problem we face? It is to experience a deep emotional life of faith. A deep emotional life of faith is one where I am sad if God is sad, and I am happy when God is happy. Centered on this kind of lifestyle, I must become a person who can liberate God's sorrow and share his happiness with the world. If I am successful in becoming a person with this standard, then all of the problems in the world will be resolved thanks to me. You must understand this point.
Yes, thank you, Heavenly Honey. What is a deep emotional life of faith? Please, my brothers and sisters, listen carefully. Answer is here from Father's word. A deep emotional life of faith is one where I am sad if God is sad. And I am happy when God is happy. Therefore, when you meet your family members, be sad and rejoice together. And be sad and rejoice with all things. In this case, eventually you meet God's heart and the world will be resolved thanks to me. Top secret is here. How can I have the deep emotional life of faith centering on God's heart? How? What is the best way? Key is here. Father said, when you go out and meet people, meet your neighbor, meet your brothers and sisters, when they are sad, and you need to have the same kind of feeling, you should be sad. They are very happy, and you together, enjoying and rejoicing together. You understand your neighbor, your people's, your close person's heart, and always together, happy together, and sorrowful heart together. When you have that kind of same kind of the heart, same kind of experience of a heart, this is the way when you grow up this kind of situation and gradually, and you can reach it to God's heart. That's why without serving people, without serving your neighbor, without serving your able, okay, without serving your close person, without that kind of artistic relationship, you cannot have experience of deep emotional life of faith centering on God's heart. This is a really key point. In the end, meeting people around me and solving problems will solve God's worries. You need to think of solving the other's worries as solving God's worries and become a problem solver. You need to think of any individual's problem as my problem. Think of a family problem as my problem. Think of a country's problem as my problem. And think of the world's problem as my problem. And then you need to solve them. Solve the problems around you. The solution of the problem should be the solved from the closest person first. How can we solve the problems of the nation, the world, and even God's worries without solving the problems of those closer to us? For example, I am living in New York hotel. My close staff is Mr. Seo, and then our Tomomi and Taka. Then when I look at our Tomomi, she's 30 years old, still don't have a spouse. So I need to solve her problem. Otherwise, how can I solve the other person's problem? First, I need to focus the closer person. And then gradually, I can solve the problem, my brothers and sisters, my members' problem, our nation's problem, gradually our entire continent's problem, and then finally connect to the world. And finally, this is the process to solve God's strong resentment, his sorrowful heart. Wow, this is very, very important. That's why your neighbor's problem, treat as my own problem. You really focus. Your problem is God's problem. Your worry is God's worry. This is the way to experience God's heart. The secret to experience the heart of God is to gradually solve the problems, starting with the people around you. Don't just pray in vain. If you sacrifice blood and sweat and tears on behalf of God over the problems around you, you will surely meet God and experience the heart of God. To meet such a heartistic God, not just only sit down and pray and pray and pray. Of course, 정성 is important. But what's the substantial 정성? You go out, go to front line, find their problems, find their wish. How can I help, for him to accomplish his wish? Helping, cooperation. This is the way we can solve God's worry, God's wishes. If you solve the problem of the closest of family members, you will gradually go beyond the problems of the tribe and the country to solve the problems of mankind and the worries of God. Therefore, think of the problems that come to you as solving God's worries and sorrows, and do all your best. Today's youth ministry, why God gave the commandment of do and done. Very important. When we taking care of the young people, especially our second generation, our third generation, our children, this point is very, very important. Why God gave the commandment of do and done. We must keep the commandment of do and done given by God in our life of faith. The completion of the human responsibility is ultimately to keep these two commandments well. If you follow the commandment to do, you can establish a relationship with God and creation through living by your original nature. All humans were born with the original nature God gave them. But whether they grow it or not is a responsibility that they have to do in the end. When God says do it, it means that God is responsible for and has prepared all of the environment. However, listening to the commandment, don't do it, done, is my portion of responsibility. Very important, my brothers and sisters. God say do it, then he already prepared everything. That is his portion of responsibility. Don't do it, that is my portion of responsibility. For example, Genesis chapter 2, verse 15 to 17, we know this Bible verse very, very well. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And then the Lord God commanded to the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat. Don't do it. Don't do it from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die, surely die. Do it or don't do it. Do not eat, don't do it. If we do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, then automatically we become perfect men. When we do our own portion of responsibility, what God said, don't do it, that is our portion of responsibility. Do not eat the fruit. Do not make a chapter the problem. Do not look at the woman. Do not look at the man before marriage. And keep absolute purity. Do not eat. 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 This is a human portion of responsibility. If you do not eat, and then someday God say, eat it. Then already God prepare everything. No need to worry when can I eat? You just do your portion of responsibility. Don't do it. Do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Then someday God prepare everything. Why worry about when can I eat? Just worry your portion of responsibility. That's why we need to distinguish very clearly. Do it or don't do it. Do it or don't do it. If we do not teach properly to our children, become very confusion. You do not teach your children how to distinguish it. Do it or don't do it. Then children really having serious problem and big confusion. That's why what's God, how God teaches us? Very clear, 10 commandments, very clearly. Do it or don't do it. That's why we need to follow God's education style. Do it or don't do it. Do or don't. This is not clear, then do not know how to distinguish what is good and what is evil. So where is it that God commands us to do what we cannot do? And also, where are parents who ask you to do what you cannot do? Also, where is such a teacher? In this way, the word do was said because God prepared everything and it could be done. God and true parents look at us and say, find the people, find the John the Baptist who are ready. Fulfill the heavenly tribal Messiah mission means that God has already prepared the environment for me and to do everything. So if you obey orders, miracles are bound to happen. So God asks us to do something. And true parents ask to do something, heavenly tribal Messiah mission, you know, and then you need to go out witnessing. Then means God is already responsible. God prepared everything for me. Everything. So doing something means this is God's portion of responsibility. He's the one who prepared entire environment. And then just for me, get out from the home and visit. And then God is already prepared everything. You need to believe in that. Until now, believers have often left what they need to do to God. This is because people misunderstand and they pray, God, please do this for me. Give me money, all. That is God's portion of responsibility. You do your own portion of responsibility, then God prepare everything for me. That's why no need to worry God's portion of responsibility. I worry. I need to fulfill my own portion of responsibility. What is my portion of responsibility? God say, do not do it. And then I follow, obey, do not do it. God say to do because he prepared everything. Therefore, as long as I obey God, don't do it, I will automatically do what God has commanded me to do. If I don't fall into the water, when told not to fall into the water, I can breathe and live. Therefore, you can breathe and live well on land if you don't fall into the water. Therefore, if there is no done, then you can already do. So don't do the don'ts and always take good care of your mind and know your heart will wish you well. That's why again I'd like to remind you, do it. That means God already prepared environment, everything. That is God's portion of responsibility. Don't do it. That is really my portion of responsibility. Do not eat the fruit. This is my portion of responsibility. God cannot do anything. God cannot intervene in anything because this is my portion of responsibility. This is my homework. If a teacher do students' homework, does not make any sense. Students have their own homework. That is students' portion of responsibility. And the students do well their homework, and the teacher give a good score, and then giving the award. That's a teacher portion of responsibility. That's why my portion of responsibility is what? Obey to God's word. God say, don't do it, and don't do it. Do not eat the fruit, and do not eat the fruit. Disobedience. This is the problem. Disobedience. When I have a wish, it means God is wishing through me. It's not what I want. You should cover this up without knowing it and ask God to do something like, let me save money, let me live well, let me having blessing. No need to worry about that. No need to worry what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. God prepared everything already. Just do your portion of responsibility. This is really incredible God's guidance. God has already made it all possible for us to do everything, but it's a pity that we keep asking Him without knowing this. We worry God's portion of responsibility. Please, Heavenly Father, give me money. Please, Heavenly Father, help me. I need to have the good life. I need to have a good job. Oh my God. If you do your own portion of responsibility very well, obey, God say, do not do it, then I do not do it. Then the other job, no need to worry. You focus on God's will. Then God said, the Bible said, you look at the bird and animals. You know, even I take care of them about their eating and food, this and that. You are a human being. You are my children. You won't just worry what to eat, what to wear, what to drink. You are my children. You look at the old things. You look at animal. You look at the bird. They never worry what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. You are a human being. You are my children. Wow. This Jesus' word completely liberate me. Bible word completely liberate me. That's why I just only focus on my portion of responsibility and reach that level. No need to worry what to eat, what to wear, what to drink. Therefore, as long as we obey what God tells us not to do, God will automatically bless us for the rest. Therefore, if I take my responsibility, blessings are bound to come. But I shouldn't be worried about God's responsibility and ask for it. Fulfill my responsibilities first. For example, if you obey the word, you must not eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Humans automatically become the masters of true love and complete it. It is my portion of responsibility to differentiate and practice the do's and don'ts well. The road of the do's and don'ts is the path of good and evil, and the path of life and death. Therefore, humans can only go one way. They can either go on the path of death or the path of the life. Choosing between these two roads is an absolute path. Therefore, it is our human portion of responsibility, never God's. When they choose the wrong way, of course, God deals with the human mistake because God is a parent. But it is not God's responsibility. Therefore, there are cases where when I make a slight mistake, I shift my responsibility to God and make it His fault and doubt what heaven has created. Do not blame God. Do not blame God. Just you do your portion of responsibility. Just follow what God's commandment. Do it or don't do it. If you follow that kind of God's commandment, you know how to distinguish what is good and evil. Just follow and obey these two commandments. Do it or don't do it. Wow. Then we know how to distinguish good and evil. We know, we know how to grow up myself very well. Therefore, we must ensure that our growing children are taught this, do and do not. This is the parental portion of responsibility. If you don't make sure of this and leave it alone, the children will follow the secular world and finally leave God's side. Wow. And father and mother teach us very clearly out to the blessed couple. Do it or don't do it. As a parent, do not distinguish clearly what is good and evil. Do not teach them, do it or don't do it. Then become very confusion. And then just only feed them and just only give the food and then send to the school and do not teach clearly, this kind of a commandment. Do it or don't do it. Then finally they follow the secular world. We lose one by one all our second generation, our children. God teach Adam and Eve very clearly, do it or don't do it. Give, God, how God raising up the, Jewish people through 10 commandments. Do it or don't do it. Very clear. This is our portion of responsibility. This is the God's commandment. If we really follow thoroughly, what should I do? What should you no need to do? This is a very important commandment. And then fallen man always rebellious, always go opposite. God said do it, and then we don't do it. God said don't do it, and then we are doing it. Human being, fallen human being, very, very rebellious. Do not obey. That's why Father said, absolute faith, absolute love, absolute obedience. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Dr. Yong, for yet another inspiring morning devotion. If there's no don'ts, then you can already do, so don't do the don'ts. And always take care of your mind. Tongue twister there, but I love it. Friends, so let's spend the next few minutes digesting what Dr. Yong just shared with us and sharing any insights we gained from it with each other. If you're by yourself, please take this moment to just reflect on today's message. We'll see you all in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing within your breakouts. You know, I was with Sandra Manfred Felberbor, and I've been emceeing for 4 days now, and for 3 of those days, I've had Carolyn Hansen in my breakout. So I'd like to call her again to share with us her reflection from today's morning devotion.
Am I here?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Young. You are a miracle worker. You are changing our lives. Thank you so much. The do's and the don'ts, I love it so much. You know, it's just so simple, but it's so essential. I go to many Christian churches and Bible studies, and it is very difficult, I think, for me, what I understand, the Christians focus so much on Jesus, but I feel there is no clear understanding why do we need Jesus, because I feel they don't focus on why did God create us. God created us to establish the 3 blessings and the do's and the don'ts. So I always feel like when I bring up this part, they don't seem to be able to relate to it so much because they're so focused on Jesus. And then when I ask questions, it becomes also murky. So the do's and the don'ts. And the same when I'm with other groups of people, they focus so much on the problems. And then I always say, I like to focus on what does God want us to build? Why are we here? What do we need to build? You know, versus, oh, this person has that problem. This person has that problem. And the whites are bad and the blacks are these. But if we focus, why did God create us? I always feel it's so much simple. So I love the do and don'ts. It makes it very simple, and but it's so powerful.
Yeah. Very clear how to distinguish good and evil. Very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caroline. 감사합니다. Today,
I love you. Thank you.
Today your clothes look so young, so beautiful today. You are.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aunt Caroline. There's something about the do's and the don'ts, being told not to do. Like, they'll tell you not to eat that apple pie, but because you're told not to, maybe now I want some apple pie. You know, there's just something, this contradictory thing in our own nature. Next, I'd like to call on Sujin Ogden. Sujin Ogden, if you please share with us your reflection from today's morning devotion.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Dr. Yong. Thank you for your content this morning. I was grateful to reflect with my breakout group. The 2 things that stood out to me was when True Father was sharing about what is a deep connection, emotional connection with God, talking about when God is happy, I'm happy. When God is sad, I'm sad. And then in the content, you shared kind of extending it to like when you see a problem, how is it that I can take it to mean that it's my responsibility and my problem? I think it's easy when I see a problem that I have the mindset like, oh, I don't really want to deal with that. But I think it's really deep to think that, you know, if I can try and see it as my problem, that is God's heart, you know, that's God's situation.
Wow.
And then the second thing was when you shared about the do's and don'ts. I think when God asks, like when I have an intuition or God asks me to do something, I often feel uncomfortable. Like I think like, oh, you know, I don't think I have that capability, or it's out of my comfort zone. But when you shared like that God has taken responsibility already, that's why he asks you to do something. It made me realize like, oh, you know, I don't see it that way. Usually I think it's my risk if I do it. But if I have more faith, then, you know, I can maybe have more courage in those moments. So those are my 2 reflection points.
Wow, beautiful. Well, that is an essential point. Thank you so much, Sujin. Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Sujin, for sharing with us your reflection. Now, brothers and sisters, on to our announcements. We talked about do's and don'ts. So do invite people to come and join in this morning devotion experience, and don't not invite people to join in. If you're online, you can feel free to join in on the Zoom experience by going to edu.familyfed.org. edu.familyfed.org. That's how you can find everything from the translations to the recordings down to be able to donate and to join in on this Zoom experience. If you're feeling especially inspired, you can turn your attention to the chat and there'll be a link to donate to support this morning devotion ministry. If you're online, edu.familyfed.org, or the description on Facebook or YouTube. Just click the link there and that'll take you to be able to support this ministry. And last but not least, we have another announcement. Tomorrow night, I believe, correct me if I don't know the time, Tal, but we have the Think Tank Forum around 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., 6, 7, 8 p.m.
7:45.
7:45, you said?
Yes.
7:45, you heard her. Think Tank Forum with Mike Pence. So we're in need of people to participate in the two-way live stream. That means that Korea can see you and you can see Korea. There's give and take action there. So if you're interested in being part of this live audience, there's a link in the chat. Just click it, put in your name, and you'll receive a link to join that Boda sort of experience with Korea. It's great. Whoever is there, Mike Pence might see you. Who knows? But anyways, that's what's happening tomorrow, 7:45 p.m. Think Tank Forum. All right, and now on to a musical offering. You've heard him here several times. He always sings very patriotically. I'd like to invite up John Kirkley to give us our musical offering for today.
Okay, here I am. I think 5 times it's been canceled, but here I am at last.
Wow, John! Whoa! Happy to see you.
Thank you. I have 3 songs that I have been vying in my consciousness, and I couldn't decide which one to sing. So in preparing, I decided I would ask Dr. Yong to choose. So I have a sweet and simple song, the Cherry Tree song. I have a rousing MFT song, and I have a Canadian song. Dr. Yong, what do you want?
Oh, first one.
The first one. Okay. This is a sweet and simple song. Actually, one time I was actually told that I had an authoritarian stride, but inside I'm kind of mushy. It's difficult to sing this song without tearing up a little bit. When Joseph was an old man was he married Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. He married Virgin Mary, Queen of Galilee. Now Mary spoke to Joseph, so meek and so mild. Joseph, gather me some cherries, for I am with child. Joseph, gather me some cherries, for I am with child. And Joseph flew in anger flew he. Let the father of the baby gather cherries for thee. Let the father of the baby gather cherries for thee. Then up spoke baby Jesus from inside Mary's womb. Bend down the tallest cherry, that my mother might have some. Bend down the tallest cherry, that my mother might have some. Then down bent the tallest branch, till it touched Mary's hand. Cried she, oh, look now, Joseph, I have cherries by command. Cried she, oh, look now, Joseph, I have cherries, I command. Sheshe kamsamida.
Oh, thank you, John. 셰셰 감사합니다.
Good choice, Dr. Yong.
Hey.
Thank you, Uncle John, for your musical offering today. Hope everything's going well in Kenya. And now, brothers and sisters, we're going to go on to our closing prayer. I forgot to look around, but I see in front of me Dr. Ward. Dr. Ward, if you could please close us out in prayer.
Thank you so much for today's service, Dr. Yong, and
Thank you, Dr.
thanks,
Ward. Thank you.
brothers and sisters, for being here. Let's close in prayer now. Most loving parent, we thank you as we close this day that we were reminded at the start of this service that today, the 14th of October, 1950, our true father was liberated from Hungnam prison. We are grateful, our dear parent, that at that moment in history that somehow you were able to inspire the UN troops, somehow able to inspire US soldiers from every race and ethnicity to go to Korea and to be able to play some small role in allowing that the providence of God could go forward at this time. We thank you so much for that chance, our dear parent, to establish an eternal bond with true parents, so that even though America has gone one way or the other over the years, true parents bond towards this country and towards the mission of this country in helping to build Chanyeolguk has never wavered. Father has kept absolute faith. Mother has kept absolute faith. And our simple responsibility, as we were reminded this morning by Dr. Yong, is simply to do the things that our true parents have asked us to do in this country, to reach out, to open our mouths, to share our hearts, and to allow that this nation, our true parent, can truly be a nation that can support the realization of Chanyeolguk. We thank you so much, our dear parent, for the reminder that you gave us this morning. And we thank you so much, our dear parent, for this simple and clear explanation of the difference between don't and do. Let us be those, our dear parent, who can be able to inherit these words to remind ourselves that you are always there, always present, always wanting to work through and use us. Please, our parent, bless this day as we begin it, and let us truly use this day as a day to advance one step further your providence and your will. We thank you for this chance, our parent, to gather together on this 14th day of October. We thank you for liberating true parents on this day. We thank you for giving the world a chance for renewal. I want to report all these things, our loving parent, upholding the names of our true parents in the names of Thomas and Alexa Ward of the Ward Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Aju, wow, thank you. Such a very profound prayer. Our true parents' liberation and also meaning of the word. Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas Ward. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Dr. Ward, for such a beautiful prayer to close us off. Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining Morning Devotion today. Do come back tomorrow. We'll see you all bright and early at 6 a.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.
감사합니다. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bless everyone.
My brothers and sisters.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Thomas.
Young, God bless you. Thank